Today we are talking about warehouse and storage efficiency using versatile bulk packaging. All right. Again, warehouse efficiency, storage efficiency, bulk packaging. We are going to talk more specifically today about sleeve packs, which is a form of bulk packaging that we'll get into here throughout the slides. All right. But real quickly, just brief intro about me. So I am Mike Ludka. I am a senior product manager at Orbis Corporation. So my experiences, I have 15 years of experience in what we call the retail supply chain, specifically looking at manufacturing, distribution out to stores, and final mile delivery. In addition to that, as part of those 15 years, I also have 5 years experience within the automotive supply chain, specifically on bulk packaging. All right. So during my time with Orbis, really my key role has been focused on understanding market insights, translating those market insights into product solutions, right? And I've had the ability at Orbis and the bandwidth to be able to take those insights learned and the support from Orbis to generate those into over 20 products over that 15-year time. If you're not familiar with Orbis Corporation, just brief statistics on Orbis itself. So we are North America's largest returnable packaging company. We have over 50 locations, both manufacturing and service centers, and that is located here globally with 12 manufacturing sites specifically within North America. Very happy to say we just celebrated our 175th anniversary. So we are the third oldest privately held family company in North America. We had a big celebration here this summer, and it was quite interesting to see there still are family members and descendants working for Orbis Corporation today, and it's neat to see them intertwined within our business. With those manufacturing processes that we have, so we have over 600 standard products that we offer to the market today, along with different custom processes and capabilities to customize solutions to the customers, and that's really where we focus best, right? So within those 12 manufacturing sites, we have a lot of different manufacturing processes so that we can take those products, offer unbiased solutions to our customers and meet those solutions. So bulk packaging. I can't start talking about bulk packaging without talking about a paper gaylord, right? So paper gaylords still today are the most widely used form of bulk packaging across all industries within North America. So I'm hoping just real quickly, show of hands, anyone, so your existing businesses, your operations today, show of hands, who's using a paper gaylord somewhere in your operation? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So at least half the room, which I was expecting, so thanks for the participation, right? They are very commonly used within North America, right? Mainly what they are, it's a craft paper corrugate. We take that container, we put it on traditionally a wood pallet, and we ship that, or we store our product in that and sometimes ship that to other locations, right? The one downfall of a paper gaylord from my perspective is it is designed to be expendable, right? It is a form of ultimately expendable packaging, which is really important because we'll talk a little bit about that again a little bit later, all right? So remember that concept of paper gaylord, expendable packaging. All right. So Orbis, the RPA, we are a reusable packaging association, right? So what I want to focus on the rest of the presentation is that concept of returnables, all right? So if you look at the bulk returnable marketplace, there are a couple different product forms that are out there, right? We can range from a plastic sleeve pack to a plastic bulk pack container, all the way up to a metal rack, right? And there are ways to classify that. At Orbis, we offer all those solutions. The way that we choose to classify that is really based off of the load capacity of an application. Not the only way to do it, but our product breadth allows us to do that. Meaning a metal rack might work for good at some applications at 2,000 pounds because of that design and the strength of that commodity, whereas a plastic sleeve pack might be under 1,000 pounds, right? And depending on the application, we can optimize supply chain operational costs by fitting that container into that right application, right? So again, talking more specifically about sleeve packs today, So I want to introduce that for those of you who are not familiar with it. So a sleeve pack is 3 individual components. You can see that kind of pictured up on the screen here. So we have a bottom, which is a pallet. We have panels, or the sleeve itself, which is the surround. And then we have a top cap, which allows the ability to stack multiple containers together for warehouse optimization or transportation. Right. It is those 3 components which provide really a lot of the features and benefits of a sleeve pack over those alternatives of a bulk pack or a metal rack, right? So they have optimized return ratios because they're 3 individual components. So we can actually take that container once assembled, we can collapse that down really efficiently because they're 3 separate components and they're not metal fabricated into one piece or mechanically fastened like some of those other solutions are. All right. So sleeve pack is definitely the terminology in the industry. You're going to hear me refer to it as OptiBulk moving forward. So OptiBulk is Orbis's trade name for the product. It's been around for over 20 years. And really the reason for that, so the Opti is meant to mean optimization, right? So again, as we go through this, optimizing operational costs, optimizing warehouse efficiency, OptiBulk. Okay. So within my role at Orbis, I do have the opportunity to get out into the field and visit a lot of existing customers, prospective clients, again, to try to capture those market insights. And when I'm going around and I see paper gaylords in operations, like many of you in the audience raised your hands, when we go back and kind of review, the first question I ask that client is, why are you using expendable packaging today? Right? Help me understand what is driving that for you. And there's 2 most common answers that I get are up on the screen. So the first one is, the response is, there's no return on investment, right? Traditionally, we've looked at it, I get cubic loss per container, right? Less product can fit into a reusable container than I can do in a paper gaylord. And that doesn't drive a good ROI for me. Second is, well, we do reusables today. We reuse that paper gaylord, which I think is interesting. So we're going to dive into actually both of those just in a little bit more detail, right? So again, I want you, if you raised your hand, just again, think of me asking you that question if you're familiar with it. Why are you using expendable packaging today? Is it one of these 2 reasons, or is it something else? So hopefully you guys can see this. It's probably a little small on the screen, so I'm going to walk you through the individual content here. But what we have up on the screen is a table. It's a comparison table. And specifically, it is comparing an Orbis sleeve pack container to an Orbis bulk pack container. Right? Again, we offer both to the marketplace. They both have their own niche and value to end customers. Right? It is our job to work with you or the prospective client to determine what is the best solution for that application. Right? And this table starts identifying what some of those reasons are. Right? So again, comparison of bulk pack, sleeve pack, it's the exact same footprint. So it's 45 by 48 by 34 inches tall. Okay. So what you'll see initially on the top of that table is we have truckload quantity. So when the container is full, how many containers am I fitting in a standard 53-foot trailer to shipping outbound to whatever my destination is? Right. In both cases, it's the same footprint. We're getting 84. Right. So that is the same. That is static. It's as we go to these next 4 categories, you're going to start seeing a little bit of a discrepancy. Right. So the next row is truckload quantity collapsed. Right. So returnable packaging works when we reuse it. So to reuse it, we have to have a reverse logistics and a backhaul operation. All right. So on that backhaul, how many containers am I fitting in that same 53-foot trailer? So here's where you start seeing a drastic difference, right? Again, because a sleeve pack does have those multiple components, you can collapse a little bit more efficiency. You're going to get 33% more in a 35-inch container on your backhaul using a sleeve pack than you would for a bulk pack. All right. If I took the same container and I did this comparison on a 52-inch tall container, not a 35-inch container, the numbers grow even further, right? So on a 52-inch container, it's a 266% delta, right? 84 containers and a backhaul and a bulk pack, 308 for a sleeve pack. So what does that mean? Right, so if you have an application where you have a long distance loop, maybe you have a tier supplier that is located on one coast and another one on another coast, right? That is a long shipping distance. You're going to want to take advantage of those high return ratios to minimize what your reverse logistics costs are going to be on the backhaul. The next row is tare weight. So this is the weight of the actual packaging itself, right? So bulk pack container versus the sleeve pack container. So again, another drastic difference between the two, right? So a bulk pack container, a structural foam bulk pack container that Orbis manufactures, that can be up to 134 pounds. The equivalent sleeve pack is 64, right? So there is a big difference there, 110% in packaging weight. Again, why that's important for you, if you have an application where you are shipping full truckloads out and you are actually weighing out your trailer today, right? Say you're doing preforms is a common thing. If you're doing preforms and you're weighing out your trailer using a bulk pack today, you have 6,000 more pounds of packaging weight. That if you go to a sleeve pack, you can pick up 6,000. They can pick up that 6,000 pounds of packaging weight and put it into preformed product, right? So now that truckload is getting 6,000 more pounds out per trailer. Again, reducing your cost per component shipping out. The next row is internal volume, right? So one of the things that you'll see with a sleeve pack container as well, they do have 4 walls. You're probably not going to see it great in the image, but the thickness of the wall is it's smaller. So it's probably about half the thickness of what a bulk pack container would be, right? When you calculate that out, that reduced thickness of there is actually going to create increased cubic volume per container, right? So now you can actually fit more product into the container itself for your shipments outbound as well. So that's another way. Again, if you're dealing with an application where again you're cubing out the trailer now. Now you can fit more of those widgets inside the container, more per side the trailer. So all those potential advantages you have there on a sleeve pack to a bulk pack container, but the key is what says the last row, right? Which is what is the container capacity for that product, right? And that's where we see a difference, right? There's a reason that the bulk pack product has less return ratio and less cubic volume. It is because those thicker sidewalls, they have a higher load capacity, right? So a sleeve pack is going to be a little bit lower, right? So it's about finding the right application for that, right? So if you're under 1,000 pounds, almost in all cases, right, a sleeve pack's going to make a lot of sense for you because of these other advantages. If you're over 1,000 pounds, we want to look at putting you into a bulk pack container. All right. Good. Second piece of feedback, right? We reuse paper Gaylord containers today. That's why we're not buying returnables, okay? So a couple of things on that. So again, when we're having conversations, when I hear that feedback that yes, we are reusing paper Gaylords today, we are into returnables, my always first question back is, well, how many trips are you getting on that reusable? Sometimes people have answers. In almost all cases, they don't, right? So they have this concept of it's a reusable container, but don't really have a great feel of the number of trips that they're getting, okay? So with that, also then, what is the true cost of reusing, that paper Gaylord? Where else in your operation are you limiting yourself and potential cost savings and efficiencies because you're reusing it, right? So we're going to go through just a couple of those scenarios that we typically see in those differences here, right? So I think the biggest thing that you're going to get with a sleeve pack container versus a reusable paper Gaylord is the ability to stack high. So when the container is assembled, you have product in it. If you're staging for shipment or if you're storing in the warehouse, right, we can store up to 6 high, in a stack in a sleeve pack container. Typically, you're not going to get close to that with a paper Gaylord when you're reusing it, largely because paper is porous, right? So paper is going to absorb moisture. Once it absorbs moisture, it's going to lose the structural integrity of that container. So when we're dealing with situations where we're trying to stack multiple containers on top of one another on the floor to maximize what our warehouse efficiency is, that can become a safety hazard. You can see that in the image. So some before and after images here just of what we're seeing, right? So that is a big safety risk there. So with the sleeve pack, right, we not only is it the robust plastic construction that is not porous, so it's not going to retain any moisture. It's going to have the same strength day one as it will, day 500. We also, because it's plastic, we're able to design in some very specific features that assist the stackability of that, right? So we can design in and mold in those features to ensure that when you are stacking, that it's safe and secure, and it's always straight. So that's assembled, right? But there's always two sides of it, right? There's always the backhaul because it's a returnable. So same concept here of warehouse optimization on a collapsed container as well, right? So this is now on your backhaul, product's empty, it's going back to the original location to be reused. Traditionally, right, that's the backhaul in the trailer, but then that's also warehouse staging as it's waiting to be in queue to be reused again. Right, so again, some before and after pictures here. So paper is not designed to be collapsed down efficiently, right? So the ways to really do that, the memory and the paper and the craft paper, typically there's going to be memory there that's going to create a bulge, right? So any way that you would try to package that on the way back, it kind of creates just some struggles, right, and some inefficiency there. You can see that in the picture, right? We have it's not packaged great, right? It's kind of humped in the middle. It's overhanging the pallet. Just not a great condition. Where you look in the bottom, right, everything has a place, right? It's designed to be collapsed that way. Everything is kitted together, right? So you can see in the bottom, we can get up to 25 systems stacked high in a trailer or for a warehouse. Again, very similar to what we talked about in the stacking ability. We're able to mold in those features in the system itself to make sure that that is safe and secure and always straight for that backhaul. I think the other thing, the picture does a pretty good job just showing, again, just one example, just the cleanliness aspect of reusable plastic as well, right? So there is no dust, particles, or debris that's going to be lifted into the air, into the facility. A lot of times within food manufacturing applications, we'll see also, seriously enough, infestations too with insects and stuff in the food supply chain. You're not going to deal any of that within plastic, so it just ultimately supports that cleanliness facility, which in turn honestly supports employee morale as well. So hopefully that all made sense. Took a couple good takeaways there, and again, when to use a sleeve pack, when maybe use a bulk container or a metal rack. I wanted to end here just with a little look at what Orbis's offering is in the sleeve pack world, right? So we have a standard offering today of different standard sizes within the marketplace, but we also offer customization along with that too. Not always does it make sense for you to work within a standard, so that's what we'll do when we work with you. We'll fit you into the right solution. Within those products, right, we also have a few different options, right? So we try to go to market with those standards with 3 specific height sizes, right? So if you look at a container, we're trying to maximize for if you have a 2-high stack in a trailer, a 3-high stack, or a 4-high, right? Sleeve packs are all about optimizing that transportation, right? So keeping in a 2, 3, or 4-high is going to help assist that. Right. We use a tri-laminated structure core material, so again, robust plastic for our sidewalls. We offer a fully rounded edge seal on the top and the bottom of that, again, to kind of protect any cuticles from getting cuts or damage or any debris going inside of that container itself. We do decoration between, if you need RFID labels or any barcode labels, there's a lot of real estate to install that, along with any silkscreen printing that allows you to put, again, any information in there if you want to put your customer logos to determine who owns that asset, if you want to put in their instructions, just safety instructions on how to use it. It's a canvas for us to do that using screen printing. All right. We didn't talk a lot about it here, but the other thing we're seeing a lot of interest in sleeve packs that differs from bulk packs and racks also is that ability to do the panels in multi-pieces, right? So we can do multi-piece sleeves here, which allows you really, where we get most interest on that is if you have 2 halves of a sleeve, you can take 1 half off. So if you're manually loading product into the container or manually offloading that, it's a really ergonomically friendly way to do it, right? Because you can take that off, you can literally walk into that pallet and really reduce the reaching that your operators are going to do. All right. So that's all I have for today. Great. So we have 10 minutes left for questions, if there are any from the audience. Yes, we have one. Please. We got a mic coming up here. Sorry.
I was just going to ask if that presentation will be made available. Some of those slides are pretty handy to kind of convey some of the selling features.
I believe so. Yes, they'll be on the RPA website.
The RPA website in a couple of weeks, and then it'll also be available. We'll send an email.
Yep. So it'll be at the RPA website as well. I think you're also posting the video on the RPA website as well. Yep.
In about 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks. And then if there aren't any other questions here, if you want to learn more information, Orbis has our booth up front in this pavilion. I'll be here for another couple of hours. Be happy to talk in further detail. Yes.
Let's see.
Bulk bins and sleep packs cost comparison. Honestly, it's about the same if you're looking at it right now. And we get that question a lot. Well, why, if it weighs so much less, does it cost the same, right? We're so used to thinking in our industry cost per pound and how that translates directly to end product cost. And it's a real thing, right? But if you look at a sleep pack, because it's multiple components and the way that you have to manufacture that, right? It's not molded, especially the sleeve aspect of it, where there's a lot of craftsmanship equipment going into fabricating that sleeve. So production rates are usually much lower to be able to do that. And that's the reason why market prices are around the same for that. What I will say though, it also works out well, which is why what we do, and if you are interested in converting from an expendable to a returnable, right? We offer some services from a return on investment perspective, which we can work directly with you, understand your application, and again, find out what is the best product for you. Is it going to be a sleeve pack? Is it going to be a bulk pack or a rack, right? So we have a model and a calculator to kind of help us do that and make the best recommendation for you.